Hello there, I'm Myrna Loy of Black Bright News, which can be found at www.issuu.com/blackbrightnews. In the United Kingdom, we have a 2-day carnival, and it starts at the last Sunday and Monday of the month. Anyway, Bank Holiday Monday normally falls on the 25th, 26th or 27th of August. So in 2 days' time, we have the Nottinghill Carnival, which is one of the largest carnivals in Europe, attended by about 2 million people. Now, the reason why, I'll give a little background. It was founded as a method of building bridges after the race riots in 1958. And Claudia Jones, who started the first West Indian newspaper, apparently she was living in America. She's a Trinidadian living in America, and she was deported to the UK, I think in 1955. And she had some kind of political thing going on in America. So they booted her out and sent her here. Another lady called Vaughan Lazalet, she is a Native American with a Russian heritage. And the two of them got together, and after doing their individual Caribbean incentives, they decided to get together and do it commonly. And so since 1966, we've been having the Caribbean Carnival every year. It used to be predominantly black. Now it's a mix. I would say maybe a 70-30 mix between black and white, but everybody goes. It's just like one big festival. Anyway, the reason that this year is more important and this carnival is more significant than any other carnival is because of the hostile environment policy, which is about the immigration and getting rid of all illegal immigrants and what have you. So what we have now is 2 million people, maybe 1 million to 1.2 million of them being black, all in one space. And that means there's a nice big net being thrown out there to capture a lot of them. Now, they do have knife arches, they've got cameras, they've got, I think, about 40,000 volunteers, including police, including people who are just watching out for other people, and goodness knows what else. But we had a shooting in Kingsbury, which is northwest London, this week. We're in the middle of August now. And what that has meant is that they're no longer, the police are no longer using the, they have something called Go Wisely, where, you have a certain protocol. And one of those protocols is to have a reasonable grounds to stop and search someone. Because of this shooting, that's now been lifted. It's supposed to be lifted for 12 hours, but that's not in the policy. So as far as people are concerned, they can now be stopped and searched without reasonable grounds, which is equivalent to the sus law of way back when. So it means that when young people or old people are in the carnival now, the police can stop them at random. They don't have to read them their rights. They don't have to ask for their rights. They're allowed to stop and search them willy-nilly, because that's how it's going to be translated, and I believe that's how it's going to be performed. So I will imagine that anybody, especially black males, who are going to the carnival have to be extremely, extremely careful. Whether they're legal or not, they still have to be careful, because these people are going to be taken up, detained, some of them may be deported at will. And nobody can say anything until they're undergoing investigation. And that's the sad thing about it, because the enjoyment, I go every year, I'm not going this year. I'm British, got nothing to fear. You know, people say if you've got nothing to worry about, what's the problem? It's got nothing to do with not having anything to worry about. It's got to do with the target, the aim, and you know what? Normally we get all these warnings about, oh, you know, the carnival, don't go because of this, don't go because of that. This year, they're actually advertising where all the sound systems are. They're actually prepping it up, making it seem as though it's a fantastic place to go. That tells me something. That tells me that they want people to go. And why do they want them to go? Because they want to take out the net, throw it out there, and hook them all in. That is my interpretation of it. If anybody's got any sense, they simply won't go. Just leave it to those who want to get drunk, who want to do whatever they want to do, who want to throw mud on each other, who want to throw paint on each other. I mean, to be honest, it's not how it used to be anyway. The outfits are compromised. They're not as, you know, creative as they used to be. People are throwing mud and all kinds of stuff over people. South Kensington used to be almost like a black slum, you know, overpopulated with immigrants. When people came over from the Caribbean, that is where they went. Now it's white middle class. It used to be funded by Kensington and Chelsea, and for those of you who heard about Grenfell Tower, that big massive tower block that got incinerated so many people, it's in that same borough. So they're not funding it anymore, and of course we know why. And so you can imagine they don't want all of this, but there again, it brings so much money in to the town, because I think it's about £1,000 to hire one of those, those things that they sell food on and stuff like that. Over £1,000. On top of that, they have to have public insurance policies. They have to have risk assessments. They have to have a whole heap of insurances. So it costs the person, the vendor, a lot of money. And when people go there, they buy. So they make a lot of money out of it. And that's one of the reasons they don't want to stop it. It's got nothing to do with, you know, black people, stopping black people from enjoying themselves. Oh no, it's a money-making venture. So the carnival this year, I'm not sure if it's going to be that great. I'm looking at Tuesday morning to see how many people have been detained. And how many people, we probably won't hear about how many people are getting deported as a result of it, how many people are brutalised. Hopefully, I like the idea of knife arches, because that means at least you've got nobody in there, young people coming in there with knives, because I know last year they found a lot of young kids with knives. And as we know, that is the cause of a lot of deaths. So I like the idea of knife arches. I like the idea of police presence. I don't like the underlying ripples that are going on underneath it. But what can I do? I'm just one little ripple in a big, big pond. And that's all I've got to say. Bye for now.